Hey everyone, it's Travis, the Pagan Scholar. It's been a minute, I know. I have decided that I wanted to do a tag video to kind of reintroduce myself into the YouTube community. There's been a lot of really fun things going on in the tarot community, and I thought that it would be cool to do a musical tarot tag. So music is really important because it is well, there's a lot of things that can be said about music, and I don't need to go on about them. But music sort of sets the tone, it creates an environment, and I feel like it's an excellent tool to sort of explore and get to know certain Major Arcana cards. I think that it would be really neat, if not for myself, at least for other people, to name one musical artist, at least, well, yeah, let's stick with one. One musical artist per Major Arcana card. Real quick, I love going on and on and on about the music that I listen to. This is probably going to be 2 videos because if I spend 1 minute talking about each card, that's a 22-minute video, not counting intro or outro, and I just don't like to have videos that long on my channel. So, part 1 of musical tarot. So believe it or not, I actually do listen to music that has lyrics, that has a vocalist. Normally I stick with lo-fi, hip-hop, instrumentals, vaporwave, and the various subgenres therein. But I do really love me some indie music with a healthy sprinkling of pop. And so, to get things started, I guess we'll dive right in with The Fool, and I think Frank Turner is the Fool incarnate. Frank Turner is this folk singer from Europe. His music, specifically his album Love, Ire, and Song, it is a journey. It is about the road, about learning things, and about not always knowing what to do, but moving forward anyways. And so Frank Turner is my Fool. For the Magician, I would say Rilo Kiley. So Rilo Kiley is a, yeah, they're an indie band with a female vocalist, lead singer. They play a lot of, okay, so the Magician has a very transcendental kind of energy to him, but even though the Magician can draw from on high and pull up from the earth, he is rooted in the present, and he has this very, like, he has to be in the present, in the world, to bring about change. And so Rilo Kiley, their music can transcend, it can pull from all these different directions, but like the guitar riffs and the noise that they make, the swear words that they use appropriately, it really grinds you, like anchors you back into the present, and I love that about their music. So it's very transformative, and it's still rooted in the world, which I think is amazing. For the High Priestess, I couldn't decide if it was going to be Florence and the Machine or Licky Lee, but I'm gonna stick with, I have always said Likey Lee, anyways, her, because I need to use Florence for another card. So for the High Priestess, Licky Lee has this, even her songs about going on dates, even her songs about just anything, dancing, they have this kind of veiled, very High Priestess energy to them. It's a little, I mean, hell, one of her albums starts out with a guided meditation. So yeah, if you're interested, check her out. For the Empress, I am actually going to go with Neko Case. So Neko Case has a very awesome presence about her. Her band is called Neko Case and Her Boyfriends, her recent band anyways. And she has this awesome sexuality to her, but it's never sexual. It's like, it's this really feminine power trip. It's like, she's got a song called The Red Tide, which is kind of obvious, but she's also got a song called Man, and it's like, I'm a man, and it's this excellent gender play, and she's so autonomous, and I think that she is a perfect candidate for the Empress. For the Emperor, I am going with not an indie musician, but with Cake. So I feel like Cake could just, they really have no fucks to give about anybody. They're gonna sing their music, and they have that emperor autonomy energy, whereas Neko Case has this sort of sensuous but still robust like authority. Cake, I mean, you can listen to any of them, but I think my favorite album by them is Fashion Nugget. So to me, that's sort of how the emperor behaves, how the emperor manifests the Emperor's energy is very much similar and in alignment to cake music. For the Hierophant, I'm going with Sufjan Stevens. So Sufjan Stevens is an artist from Michigan, and he describes his own music as sixth grade band. So he's a folk singer, he plays 1,000,001 instruments, they are all on his album. So he plays folk music, but it's highly produced in that he brings in like symphonic elements. And so he's very spiritual in his music as well. He was, he's a fascinating man, and I feel like he might be just a tiny bit full of himself. So I feel like that's very much what the Hierophant is. Accessible, but also has a very highbrow understanding as well, and is also very spiritual, but a tiny bit like, look at me, I'm so spiritual. So Sufjan Stevens is my pick for the Hierophant. For the lovers, I am going with Mira, M-I-R-A-H. She is a singer from somewhere in Slavic countries. She has this beautiful innocence to her music. She can sing about very intense things, but she has this sort of... Well, she's even got a song called Jerusalem and The Garden. It's this beautiful celebration of very pure and very naked emotions. I highly recommend Joyride and what's another album by her? She also has some very highly produced music where she works with a symphony and she sings a song about Psyche. She tells the myth of Psyche, and I think that's an excellent thing to explore. So she's a very multifaceted artist, but I chose her for the lovers because she does have that sort of nescience, that naivety, that very pure quality that we usually associate with the lovers. That said, she's also completely capable of singing very naughty songs, and it's like kind of makes you blush. So she's my perfect pick for the lovers. For the Chariot, I'm going with Metric. So Metric is one of my all-time favorite bands. Emily Haines is amazing. Emily Haines and the Soft Skeletons is her side band, and there is such a sense of movement and transition, forward motion in, what's the name of that song? Come on baby, play me something like Here Comes the Sun. Anyways, so you're gonna make mistakes, you're young. She speaks to her audience and she pulls them along, and it's this wonderful music to grow up with, to grow up to grow with. And, not to grow up with, but to grow with. And it inspires me to move and to really harness that Chariot energy. So 100%, all of her albums, every single one of them, Metric for the Chariot. For strength, I am going with Regina Spektor. Regina Spektor is an inspiring woman, and she is so talented. She has kind of a brokenness to some of her music, but she still prevails, she still overcomes, she overcame, her family they were immigrants, and so she's this beautiful representation of strength in her music, even though it kind of aches with this hurt, this woundedness. It can also be, a celebration. It can also be joyous and strong and gentle, much like strength in the tarot usually represents. I remember the first time I heard Us by Regina Spektor, I cried. For the Hermit, I'm going with Gautier. And everybody knows his radio hit, Somebody That I Used to Know. Turns out he has really good music beyond that. He was just so overplayed that nobody paid any attention to his other music. I highly recommend getting on YouTube right now. Well, you're on YouTube right now. Anyways, go look up his other music. His music is trippy. The music videos to his music are very trippy. They're all about kind of going inward, delving into this personal psyche. Easy Way Out is, I think, kind of about an acid trip, but is also about self-exploration. Eyes Wide Open, We Walk the Plank, that's Eyes Wide Open is the name of the song. It's this musician that kind of unflinchingly gazes inward. In fact, oh man, okay, all of his music, all of it, it's the Hermit, and it's the best Hermit. Usually I mean, the Hermit's cool, but it's kind of a boring card. It's kind of like, okay, I'm going inside, gonna do shadow work. But Gautier is sort of this reinvigorating energy for the Hermit, so I recommend him if you've got Hermit work to do. And with the Wheel of Fortune, I want to go with Connor Oberst, Bright Eyes. Connor Oberst, his band, Bright Eyes. He has... Okay, I discovered him in high school, and he was the perfect music to be in high school with. Very emo, very damaged, very broken, but that's sort of the Wheel of Fortune sometimes. The wheel goes up and the wheel goes down, and his music goes up and it goes down, and it's like... sometimes it wears on you. Sometimes it's like, oh no, you're an angry teenager, or well, anyways. But it can also really just evoke these strong, powerful emotions that are beautiful, and can really just harness this raw emotion of up and down, and it's sort of like that's how the wheel turns, and that's sort of how I'm making him applicable to the Wheel of Fortune. Alright guys, that is going to be part 1 of Musical Tarot. I'm going to see you in the next video, alright? So, merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again, hopefully in just a few minutes.